Back-to-back episodes. Let's go. What's good, Combat Sports fans? You already know this is Combat and Kick It. I am your host, Bando, and this is the High Stakes Fighter Breakdown, and we are doing it for Khamzat Chimaev. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. Let's smoke. So like I said, this is the High Stakes Fighter Breakdown for Khamzat Borz Chimaev. We have been anticipating this matchup for so long. I'm not going to get into the whole intro of it like I did in the Dreykus episode because you guys already know what we are in store for. Let's talk about Khamzat Chimaev real quick. Let's break down the fighter of Khamzat Chimaev. Undefeated. No longer a prospect. Came in on one of the hottest trains that you could have came in on in 2020 with multiple finishes, quick wins, and just crazy call-outs. Just Khamzat really built a name for himself quick in 2020. Real quick in 2020. But after 2020, 2021, there started to be a little fall on him. Not like a fall of skill set or anything like that. Kept getting sick. People were wondering, was Khamzat Chimaev going to continue to fight? Was he going to be able to continue to fight? Was this going to be a situation where we see a guy who was supposed to be top level like a Zabit, and then he ends up not being able to fight because of sicknesses and stuff like that? Luckily, it's not that. We got Khamzat Chimaev full effect, and the man is looking like he is a heavyweight. So I'm very interested in this fight this weekend. Everybody has been interested in seeing Khamzat Chimaev finally be able to fight for a UFC title. We all thought since day one, oh shit, this dude might be a problem for this division. Right at that time, Izzy was champion. Alex wasn't even in the UFC yet. Right? It was a very interesting thing to see. You saw a guy with explosive, really skilled wrestling, and then you're watching him early on. You watch him knock out Gerald Meerschaert with the first punch he throws. I mean, that speaks volumes. So you're sitting there wondering, like, okay, this dude's got power and can wrestle, and he's rocking at welterweight and middleweight. This dude's interesting. Who's gonna be able to beat Khamzat, right? And we're still asking ourselves that question: who's gonna be able to beat Khamzat? Is Khamzat that guy that is so untouchable, unbeatable, and that's why he's undefeated? Or is just nobody's cracked the code yet, and it's just taking the right guy, maybe somebody like Dreykus, to do it? I'm not sure. Now, if you look at the background of Khamzat in his career of fighting and everything like that, guys have not even really broke through. There's been two people to break through a few rounds with Khamzat, and that was Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman. And those fights were very interesting fights because you had the Gilbert Burns one was at welterweight, where not that Khamzat can't make the weight, but that was a lot for him to cut because he is a pretty big middleweight to begin with. So for him to cut down to welterweight is crazy. But he made the cut down to welterweight, fought the fight against Gilbert, which was the perfect fight for him. A lot of people talk about, oh, look what Gilbert Burns did to him. Yeah, you could talk about that, but really look at that. That's the perfect fight for him. You've been so successful all through your UFC career so far, and I'm talking about extreme success. I'm not talking about, oh, he's gone in there multiple times, 3 rounds, getting decisions, won every single one of them. No, he's having quick success. Take somebody down, get the finish, that's it, right? Like nothing else to it. Quick success. So for him to be able to do that and then come up to a fight against Gilbert, obviously he wanted to be able to do the same thing to Gilbert Burns, but sometimes you need to be tested, right? You have to be tested. He needed the Gilbert Burns fight to be able to win the Kamaru Usman fight. I know that sounds crazy because they're so far apart, but that's really what it is. You have to have the experience. Sometimes you just go out there and you're beating guys so quickly, you don't get the experience. So once there is a person that can drag you to deep waters, you don't have the experience there, right? We'd go to boxing real quick and we talk about Floyd Mayweather, right? Yeah, Floyd was undefeated through his career. But if you look, Floyd was in scraps, right? Not every fight was just unbelievably technical, sound fight where he didn't get touched at all or anything like that, or he didn't have to do anything. No, there was fights where he had to actually had to fight, and it would go to decision. But what happened for Floyd is each fight gave him more experience, in terms of being able to make the fight go longer. One, because businessman aspect of it, and then the other aspect is if he knows he gets the fight longer, these guys early in a fight, they're going to try to rip his head off, right? He's been talking shit, he's been building it up, he's been putting a lot of heat into it, right? So these guys, they want to rip your head off right off rip. You look at Conor McGregor when he went in there. I know this isn't like the greatest thing to go back and use as showing Floyd Mayweather's career, but it's just so simple and it's so quick, and it just shows you the experience levels and how it's so different, right? Conor went in there off rip, quick, throwing punches, trying to knock him out, trying to land something crazy, trying to do something, right? Floyd just stayed like this, waited, and then he unleashed in the 9th and 10th round, because that's the experience. He knew he can do that because he knew that Conor wasn't going to be able to do what he does, right? He's not going to be able to last with him. He's not going to make it to 9 with a full gas tank because he's been throwing his punches as hard as he can. So that's exactly what Gilbert Burns was for Khamzat. Khamzat needed it for the experience. It brought him to becoming a better fighter, because now, having that experience, he got against Usman, who has tons of experience in the late rounds. Whether it's a 3-round fight or a 5-round fight, he has tons of experience in the late rounds. So Khamzat needed that, right? So getting those 2 wins against 2 top guys, both top welterweights, but one was at middleweight, it's huge for his career, and it's what he needed. Now, him going into the fight against Rob Whittaker, that's a whole different story. That shows you the danger of Khamzat Chimaev at middleweight with a full training camp. Because he was welterweight against Gilbert Burns, and he was not on a full training camp against Usman. Granted, Usman wasn't on a full training camp either, and he fought a fantastic fucking fight. No doubt in my mind, I'll never take that away from him. That fight was so close. That was a great fight by Kamaru Usman. To be able to do that on short notice against somebody who is as big a savage as Khamzat, props off. But the thing is, you saw what he did to Rob. Like I said, you get a full training camp, healthy Khamzat at middleweight. That's a scary dude. And Rob Whittaker really is the type of guy who is like a wrestler's nightmare with the way he defends and the way he sprawls and the way he can get back up and things like that. And he's strong, right? He makes you pay when you shoot those takedowns. Not against Khamzat. So let's analyze and kind of break down the skill sets, the things that he's done in his fights that he needs to do in this one. You know, obviously we're going to get into the keys to victory and the negatives and everything like that. But when you analyze like his skill set, I'm just going to go straight to the Rob Whittaker fight. I'm going to go back to the Kevin Holland fight, right? Because they both have similarities. The fights weren't freaking 30 seconds to 2 minutes before he shot. I mean, he shot right off rip against Kevin Holland. Fakes the glove touch, shoots takedown. And Kevin tried. Kevin kept doing those flips, kept trying to roll out, kept trying to make it, awkward and just be able to find himself in a position to get back up. But Khamzat stayed on him, and he is so strong. It's wild to see, because I'm not the person in there fighting him. I'm not feeling the strength. You're watching the strength. And you know somebody's strong when you can watch them and you see. I mean, we all, 90% of us grew up watching WWE. We've seen guys that are strong, right? There's different from like lifting strength and like punching power, obviously. But like, you can watch TV and see when somebody's strong. The things that Khamzat does to another professional fighter at the same weight class as him, it's you could tell he's strong. But he stays on it too, right? Like with the Kevin Holland one, Kevin kept rolling, trying to get out, but he stayed on it. He gave up no space, right? A lot of guys will kind of give up trying to get the position. I mean, Kevin rolled a lot. So some guys would give up at a certain point and be like, all right, let me reset and then I'll shoot again, right? Let me do a little bit on the feet and then I'll shoot again. Let me set up the shot and then see if we could take it a different route. Khamzat doesn't. He's not separating from you. If he is able to close the distance and take you down, right? And he's close enough to where he's either grabbing a leg, your body, an arm, something. If he's able to get that close, he's not going to get away from you unless you make him pay some way, somehow. You have to get him off. Right, that's the only way. You have to push him off of you and separate. You have to create your own space, which is very, very risky too, because of how explosive he is with the shot. You can create that space and he can come right back in, right? So it might backfire trying to create the space, but you have to try to create some space to be able to, for you to do something. You have to work what you're best at. Obviously, Dricus is so awkward. Dricus might be able to work the space and do something different to avoid Khamzat being able to have success at his game, right? So think about it. Khamzat takes you down, right? You're fighting, but you actually got yourself up on your feet, but 90% chance you're up against the cage, right? So you got your back up against the cage, you got up, right? And you're kind of in a clinch position. He's going to shoot again, whether he's got you up here. Now, he's going to go for the takedown again. Either he's going to lift you up and walk you all the way to the other side of the octagon and drop your shit, or he's going to trip you, sweep you. He's going to do something. He's going to try again. If you have enough time to be able to create that space, right? Maybe Dricus is the type of guy, if he creates that space, he could shoot in himself, right? Maybe they shoot at the same time, right? And that is the defense in itself, right? If you watch John Jones versus Dominic Reyes, the defense of the leg kicks, John was defending him by kicking back, right? He was kicking the same time that Dominic Reyes was kicking. So maybe in a similar sense, in a different style, in this fight, you defend a takedown with a takedown by shooting at the same time, trying to time that and shooting with him instead of trying to defend. This is going to be such an interesting fight. I can't wait till I do the actual prediction of this, the breakdown and predictions of this card, because I don't even know where I'm gonna go with it. I don't even know who to predict to win this fight. I really don't. This is a crazy style matchup. I don't know. I don't know, man. So like Rob was able to get Dricus down. So Khamzat's going to be able to get Dricus down. Simple as that. But it just, what's going to happen when he does, right? He's going to go for the finish. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to go for the finish. Is Dricus going to be somebody who's able to make something happen off his back or be able to get up and separate the space like I was saying? I don't know. When Khamzat closes that distance, it's dangerous. Now, everybody talks about the cardio of Khamzat because of the Usman fight. Like I said, it was a short notice fight. Both of them could have gassed out easily in that fight because it was a short notice fight, not fighting the fight that you would expect. You know, Usman coming off the couch for that one with bad knees and everything. And then you got, Khamzat was training. I'm pretty sure that was for Paulo Costa. So you got him training for a striker that he was pretty much going to dominate on the wrestling side. And didn't have that fight. You had a completely more awkward stylistic fighter when it comes to Usman, because Usman's got threats with the boxing, but he knows how to wrestle, right? He knows how to wrestle. So his whole focus was just to defend that wrestling, and he was able to. And because he was defending the wrestling, it did gas Khamzat out. The thing about Khamzat too is, like I said, he'll keep going. He's relentless. He won't stop, right? But he doesn't have that long-term gas tank. I don't say that his cardio is bad. He just doesn't have that long-term gas tank to do that same pressure from round 1 to round 5. I don't think many people do, right? He comes off so aggressive, so explosive, and so quick. I don't think anybody would really be able to hold that cardio and that pace through 5. We talk about Merab's pace. It still ain't nothing like Khamzat in the first round. Khamzat is the scariest fighter in the first round, because he's going to take you down, and he's not looking to hold you down. Watch what he does, too. When it comes to the takedowns, right, he will bounce up and down, up and down, up and down as he's closing the distance, right? Like, people are like, okay, he's just trying to feint the takedowns. No, he's literally closing the distance. He starts right here, and he's just and then all of a sudden he shoots. Or he shoots. It's hard to time, and he's a very, very hard fighter to time. You can't predict when that shot is coming, and it's going to be explosive. You don't know if it's going to be a typical double leg. You don't know if it's going to be a single leg to the high crotch. You don't know if he's going to lift you up and slam you. You don't know if he's going to trip you. You don't know if it's going to be a clinch. He is unpredictable in that sense. You know the takedown's coming. You're not quite sure how he's going to end up getting you down, but he's going to end up getting you down. So let's lead us into the keys to victory for Khamzat Chimaev. Wrestling. I'm not even going to break that down. We already know. Wrestling. The wrestling is a huge key to victory in this fight. Not because Dricus can't defend against the wrestling, but because that is Khamzat's strength. That is like his number one strength is the wrestling. So Dricus is going to try to pressure a lot in this fight. He's going to try to push Khamzat onto the back foot, which is smart because that doesn't give Khamzat the same space that he's able to create when he's leading the dance to be able to shoot. But that's exactly what Khamzat needs, is to be the one to lead the dance. You got to lead this. You got to put Dricus on his back foot. You got to give something for Dricus to think about real early. As soon as the fight starts, you got to give him something to think about. Obviously, everybody's going in there against a guy like Khamzat with the mentality like, I got to defend the takedown. So he's already thinking about takedowns. You just got to give him something to really think about early. If this fight is going to end up going 5 and you're not going to get the finish. So he's got to be smart with that too. Like that's part of the key to victory is being smart in terms of being able to mix the game and realizing like, okay, you got to be like mature in a way. A mature fighter understands that the finish isn't always there in the first round. It's not always there in the second. Could be there in the third. Not always there in the third. Could be there. Not always there in the fourth. Could. Not always there in the fifth. But it could be. But you have to be smart enough to know that that first round and second round, if you just go for it as much as you possibly can, and that's the only thing you're looking for, and you can't get it, you're going to end up having to go 5. More than likely, you're going to end up having to go 5. If you can't get a guy like Dricus out in 1, 2, or 3, you're going 5. Okay, and in 4 and 5 is when one of the best versions of Dricus comes out. So Khamzat needs to make him respect him right off rip. Right off rip. And the other key to victory is a kind of weird key to victory to say, right? The analysts have said this before, though. They have said this breaking down a fighter coming to the octagon. They said it with Tony Ferguson. They said, be yourself, right? And that, for Tony Ferguson, was not the best advice at the time because my man was on like a 6-fight losing streak at that time. So it wasn't the best advice. But for Khamzat, to me, that's a key to victory. Be yourself. And I say that in more than just what you do in the octagon. Look at the way the man runs to the octagon. He is pumped up to go get into a scrap. Like he is excited to go fight another human being who is known for hurting other human beings. Be you. Just be you, brother. Go out there. Go out there because you're happy to fight. Go in there and fight this dude like he is just some other guy that you fought before off the street and you just knew you could beat his ass. You knew you could do it. That's exactly the version of Khamzat that has to go in there. Because I said in the Dricus thing, one of the key to victory is testing the ego of Khamzat. Khamzat needs to carry that ego. He's got to make sure he can go in there with that confidence, just blowing up, just glowing with confidence. He has to. He has no other choice. Negatives for Khamzat. I'm going to keep this quick, simple. Cardio. Not saying he has bad cardio. It's the only thing we've really seen him have dangers with. And within the cardio, the next negative is the experience. He doesn't have the experience in there to continuously go 5 with people. He's never been in championship rounds before. So this is a interesting fight for him if it does get past 3. The man has gotten tired in 3-round fights. Like I said, it was a big weight cut and it was a short notice fight the 2 times, but still in 3-round fights we've seen him gas, and DDP is not the guy you want to gas out against at all, because that man's not going to gas out. So that's a huge thing is cardio, and then within the cardio is also he just does not have that experience. So within the experience, even if the cardio's on point, he's got perfect cardio for 5 rounds, he doesn't have the championship experience. Does he have the ability to make the adjustments if the fight goes in some tricky ways for him? That's the big question. We know that Dricus can overtake 4 and 5 in a very, very dominant fashion. And he could lose the first 3 rounds, but take 4 and 5 in dominant fashion, be able to get the win, secure the decision win. So Khamzat just has to be able to realize that Dricus has been there multiple times already. He's just got to play it safe. He's got to play it safe and make sure that the team is prepped and they got the right adjustments to be made. It's hard to make adjustments against an unorthodox guy, though. It really is. And the last negative I would say is the weight cut. Not weight cut in terms of him not making weight. I'm sure he'll make weight. They're weighing in this morning. I don't know when I'm going to end up posting these videos after the edit and everything, but they're weighing in this morning. No, not this morning. Tomorrow morning they should be weighing in. So they'll be weighing in tomorrow morning. I think he'll make weight, no problem. The question for me is his weight cut going to be a gnarly one? Is he going to be good? Because he looks huge, man. He really does. He hasn't fought in a while. He looks big. Like I said, he's walking around looking like he's 205, walking around looking like he's 215 maybe. He's a big dude. So is this weight cut going to be a rough one on him? Because if it does, then for sure it's going to click in with the last 2 things, the last 2 negatives, the cardio and the experience. Because if the weight cut drains him, he's going to have a huge problem in those late rounds. So really Khamzat has to try to get a finish, but just be smart while doing it. It's such a tough fight. It's such a tough position to be in, because you got to go out there and finish a guy like Dricus. You cannot allow Dricus to get comfortable, find his awkwardness and take over the fight. You have to finish him early, but at the same time, with the fact that Khamzat doesn't have the experience, if he goes for the finish early and does not get it, can he last a full 5? That is the main question. But I guess we'll find out on Saturday night. But that's it for this episode. I appreciate you guys for watching another high stakes fighter breakdown. I've been very inactive lately. I said there was no way that I'm not doing high stakes fighter breakdowns for this fight. I had to, and that's what we did. So I appreciate you guys for watching. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification button so you know when the next episode is out. If you enjoyed this episode, you really should subscribe. It's a fun channel. I haven't been the most active recently, but when I am, we're putting out solid content. That's what we do. That's what we do. So I appreciate you guys for watching Combat and Kick It with your host Bando, and I will catch you on the next episode. Your boy Bando's out. Peace.